Welcome to our beginners class today. We're going to work on balancing the whole system through our energy centers or our chakra system. And it's interesting when you hear chakras, some people think it sounds a little bit esoteric, but if you look at Western medicine, the chakra system that the yogis go with is very similar to the endocrine system in Western medicine. So if you looked at a map of the chakras and a map of the endocrine system, they pretty much match up. And some energy centers or chakra centers actually have not just one, but two hormonal glands or endocrine glands in them. So they're very much related. So we're working on balancing that system and balancing the nervous system today in our beginners class. So just a nice gentle class that's energizing but also bringing us some peace. Interesting that these energy centers or chakras, they really have an impact on our emotional, our physical, our mental and our spiritual health. So really important to keep them nice and balanced. And I really think when I started yoga, that it was one of the things that gave me that amazing feeling of well-being that I got from yoga that kept me coming back and back. And I think it was just that regulation of my endocrine system and nervous system, and it's why I'm still addicted to it today. Keeps me sane. So let's make a start, and I just want you to come into a comfortable sitting position. Doesn't have to be like me. You can be like this with the ankles crossed, easy sitting pose. You can have the legs out in front, or you can be sitting up on something, just whatever suits. Even sitting on your heels is okay, as long as there's no strain on the body. That's the main thing. So let's just start with a gentle side stretch. So if you take your right hand out to the side and inhale up with your left, so you're mirroring me, inhale, reaching up and just gently over, feeling the stretch through the side body, connecting to the breath and breathing in. Let's release, inhale up and over to the other side. Coming back to center. So I've got the heater on up here. It's pretty cold in Ballarat here today, so I'll turn that off in a minute. It makes a bit of a noise. Coming into a twist, so place your right hand on your left knee, other hand behind as we inhale up, find some length. And exhale, just gently open. And release and over to the other side, breathing in as we lengthen. And breathing out as we exhale. Come back around to center. Okay, so I want you to keep focusing on, when we're focusing on the breath today, try and bring that ocean sound to the breath, what we call ujjayi breathing. So we just constrict the back of the throat slightly, so you can just hear the breath in and out. It really helps you to keep your focus on the breath. As soon as we're focused on the breath, we're really working with our nervous system as well. So I'll keep you reminding you to bring that sound or that ocean sound to the breath. I want you to come up into, or come onto your side like this. Both knees to one side, so just mirror me like this. I'm just going to take my jumper off now. So from here, place your right hand down, and we're just going to sweep this left arm across the body. So push into the hand, lift up on the knees. Just push the hips forward and feel that beautiful stretch down the side of the body. Let's come back down and we'll swap sides. Just lean back and swap legs. Take your left hand down and inhale, raise up and hold. Let's come back down. Good work. Alright, so we're going to come up onto into table position. So wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. I'll just turn that heater off. Okay, so we're here, we're going to move into a few cat-cows. So breathing in, make that ocean sound. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And as we come back to neutral spine, take the knees wide, take the feet flat, and come back and sit on the heels. It doesn't matter if you don't get all the way back, you can be here, that's okay. But just as far back as you can manage. And you can either stack the fists, or you might be able to reach the arms out in front, either one. Raise the head and just stay here. Just going to walk the hands over to the left. You might want to keep the head up if that suits you, or you might be able to drop it down. Raise it all the way to the other side. Raise the head and we'll come all the way back as we come back up into table position. Right, coming up onto the knees. And just turn around to face me. And so mirror me, so you take your left leg out and raise the opposite arm up. Inhale, find some length. Make sure that foot is parallel with the edge of the mat there. And here you want the knee and the hip and the shoulder all in alignment. So this is what you want to avoid. This is what you want to aim for. Find some length, breathe in, and exhale over. And let's release, hands back to the hips and bring that knee in. And opposite leg out. Inhale up, find some length, and exhale over. Find that ocean breath. Every focused breath is a meditation. Every focused breath, lowering those stress hormones. And release. Good work. Alright, let's come back to table position. So we're going to come up into downward dog, so just lengthen the table out a bit. And let's bring the sit bones back to the heels first, like this, and then lift up. Good. Up onto the toes, drop the knees down. Actually, let's come up onto the knees again. Just give those wrists a little bit of a warm up. Interlace the fingers, draw the elbows together, and just moving the wrists around in one direction. And back in the opposite direction. And back to centre. And release. And back to table. Lengthen out again. We'll come up for that downward dog once more. Lifting up. Let's come up onto the toes. Drop the knees. Take the hands out further and let's come and lie down on our bellies, so all the way down to the floor. And come up onto the elbows. Elbows directly under the shoulders here. If that's too much for your back, just have the elbows out a bit. It's okay. But if you feel alright here, just really pushing the elbows into the floor and drawing that chest forward. This is called Sphinx pose. And release, elbows come out, hands back under, and moving all the way back and back up to downward dog. We're going to step the right leg forward. If you're okay at coming to three-legged dog and stepping forward, you can do that. Otherwise, drop the knees with me and just step that right leg forward. Raise the back knee, step forward. Inhale all the way up, nice bend in the legs. As as we come back to standing position. Let's come in to a balancing pose. We're simply going to hug the knee in towards the chest. So hands on the hips. We're going to shift the weight to the left first. So let's shift it over and raise that leg, that right leg, sorry, and just holding that knee up. So make sure that standing knee is nice and soft so you're not locking it in. And you want your gaze focused on something. Your drishti nice and steady. And release down. Remember, if you find the balancing, one-legged balancing hard, just move to a wall. That's absolutely fine. Alright, let's do the other side. Shift the weight to the right leg and raise your left leg up. And hold. Release, inhale. Now let's come down. Alright, just before we come back to the floor, we'll take a nice wide stand. Okay? Now, you might want to use blocks here. If you haven't got blocks, you can use DVD sets or books or whatever you've got available. When you take a nice wide stand, it needs to be about the length of one of your legs approximately. And we want the edges of the feet in line with the edges of the mat. If you want blocks, place them in front like that. Let's inhale. As we exhale, the softness in the knees just coming forward. You might place your hands on the blocks and just hold here. You might have your blocks on this level. Ocean breathing, just a couple more breaths here. Alright, we're going to come into a little side twist while we're here. So with your right hand, you can either take it to the center or move your block to the center. Bring your left hand to the hip and open out to the side. You can leave your hand on your hip here if you want, or raise the arm up, just depending on the space that you've got. So we're really moving into a twist here, so I want you to bring your awareness into the belly and the breath coming right down into the belly. Release down, hand to center, opposite hand to center. Inhale, open out to the other side. Hand on hip or raise it up. Now let's release down. A little bend in the legs as we bring the hands to the hips and slowly uncurl up. Let's stay here with the legs wide and just turn the feet out. So there's sort of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I'm going to come into goddess pose. So I want you to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're coming into a squat. Now these knees, your knees are tracking over your toes. So make sure they're not dropping in like this, puts too much pressure on them. They're tracking out, okay? And you don't want to sort of stick the tailbone out. You want that tailbone dropping towards the floor. And just come down to where it suits you. If that's here, that's okay. A bit lower, that's okay. And then we bring the arms in, so the arms come up. So you see the upper arm is parallel to the floor. The fingers are nice and spread, and we hold it here. Goddess pose. We're really working on strengthening through the legs. We'll straighten the legs for a moment, give you a bit of a break. Bring the hands up now, touch the thumb and the index together. Breathe in here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hands back to the hips and straighten the legs, and we'll just heel toe back in. Good work. All right, so I wanted to come into a warrior pose while we're here. So let's just take a nice wide stand again. And with your left foot, I want you to turn it out and just have that other foot slightly turned in. So hips are sort of shooting off to the corner of the room. I'm going to bend this leg and make sure this knee stays stacked over the ankle. Okay, from here, turn your chest. Hips are still this way, but my chest is facing towards you. Bring the fingertips together and then the arms out. Make sure that knee stays nice and stacked. Good. And hold. Take your gaze out over your middle left finger. We're going to come into easy side angle. So bring that right arm down to rest and the left arm up close to the ear. Connect to that ujjayi breath or that ocean breathing. And let's come back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, hands to the hips. Turn all toes to me. Turn your left foot out now. Oh, sorry, your right foot. And bend that leg, knees stacked over the ankle. That heel, that foot turned in slightly. Hips off this way, they stay that way, but the chest comes around to face towards me. Arms come out, parallel to the floor. Nice steady gaze over your middle right finger. Come into easy side angle. This arm comes down to rest and this arm up beside the body. So you want this nice straight line from that outside foot through the fingertips. Let's bring that hand down. And let's come back up. And let's just heel toe. Back in. Well done. Alright, come back to Tadasana. So up to the front of your mat. You remember the feet are hip width apart. Remember your hip width apart is by spinning your heel around to the ball of the opposite foot and back. So spin and back. Spin and back. That is your hip width. So feet hip width a bit apart. There's a softness in the knees. So let the shoulders relax. Let's inhale, arms out all the way up. As we exhale down, nice bend in the legs, as much as a bend as you need to reach the floor. Inhale, half lift, nice flat back here. Hands can be on the shins, even up to the thighs is okay. And release down. Let's step the right leg back. Let's step the left leg back. As we come into a long table, so my wrists are definitely a handprint in front of my shoulders here. And so we're just going to come all the way down. It's okay if your hips drop down first. Just trying to use a bit of strength there. Take the hands out to the sides, fingertips on the floor. So we're going to draw the chin into the chest as we inhale up for Cobra. Now if that's high enough for you, then you just stay there. It's different for everyone. The most important thing is that there's no strain on the body. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Bring the hands back in under the shoulders and push yourself back up. Take the knees wide. I'll get the blocks out of the way. And bring yourself into extended child's pose again. Raise the head and make your way back to table position. So I'm going to come into pigeon pose now. So with your right knee, I want you to bring it up towards the right wrist like this, and you walk that ankle in a little bit. So this is the position of the leg. You release that back foot and you let that leg go down just as far as it suits you. You might stay here. Now you might want a bit of support under that right hip. You can grab a block and place that under that right sit bone if you want. So we're going to breathe in and out of this a few times before we settle in. So just like we did before with Cobra, take the hands out. Let's inhale, exhale down. You don't have to come down all the way. Inhale, Exhale. Inhale. And this time let's exhale down. So you might want to stack your fists and rest the head. You may or may not want to have something under that right buttock. And just want to move those left toes back as far to the back wall as you can, just to allow the body to come down a little further. And you'll want to be feeling it in through that right hip and glute area. Connect to the breath, hear the ocean breathing. Release, hands under the shoulders, pick yourself up, just back to table position. And then we do the other side. So we're bringing left knee up to left wrist, slide it up, walk that ankle in a bit. You just got to be careful when you walk the ankle in that there's no strain on the knee. Release the back leg. If you want, grab a block. So you don't want to sort of sit down like this. You want to keep those hips square. So if you need to put a block under, feel free. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come down and rest. Fists or maybe the full extension of the pose, but not necessary, just wherever you're at. And hold. Raise the head, hands under the shoulders, pick the body up and just coming back through the table again. Let's do some cat-cows while we're here at centre. So chest forward, belly down, breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale. And back to centre. Alright, so we're going to come and sit down. So either come over the ankles or knees to one side like me and come back and sit down. So we're going to work into our spinal twist. Sounds like a terrible name for a yoga pose. We're going to work into our spinal twist. So I want you to bring both legs out in front. And so mirroring me, you're going to bring the left leg over like this. Now most of you will leave this leg straight, okay? Some of you will be able to lean over and sit like this. But if you do, you don't want that heel caught under the body because the spine won't be straight. You need that out and you need to be able to get that sit bone down to the floor. So if that's not possible for you, just keep that leg straight for now, okay? I'm going to keep mine straight. Let's inhale and find some length. And as we exhale with your left arm, take it around behind you and find a little opening of that chest out. And this is where the twist comes in. With this arm or hand, keep drawing this knee in towards the midline. Let's breathe in as we lengthen and exhale as we open. Find that ocean sound in the breath. Yeah, let's release. These twists through the centre body, they're really the detoxifiers of all the yoga poses. So let's get ready for the other side. So your left leg up and over. Keep this foot nice and flexed. Let's inhale, find some length. Exhale, that left arm comes around, place it on the floor behind you to support your posture. So you can see me from the side, maybe it'd be better for this side. So sort of like, I don't want to sort of be like this. I want to use that arm to really support my posture. Find the length as we breathe in, and you find the twist as we breathe out. Don't forget to draw this leg in towards that midline. Close the eyes if you like, and find that breath. Let's release and come back to center. Good work. Just take the feet out in front. Place the hands around the knees here. So inhale, find some length through the spine. And as we exhale, round the back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back to center. I'm going to come back up onto the knees. So moving up to work into the heart center here with our pose called camel's pose. So we're just going to do a really gentle variation of this. So just on your knees, keep your hands on your back here. I'm just going to inhale, find some length through the center of the body, lifting up, opening the chest, and just ever so gently leaning back. So you really want to feel that beautiful opening through the chest here. If that little back bends too much, you can come back to more of a center position, but just a nice gentle opening. 2 more breaths. We're going to release by, come into a counter pose, which is going to be our child's pose. So sitting on the heels, and classic child's this time. So we're going to take the hands back beside the body and rest the forehead on the floor. Now, for those of you who this pose isn't available to, it's okay to have the hips up here if that's where you need them to be, and you can stack the fists, and you can be here like this, and that's okay too for your child's pose. Let's come back up. Good work. Okay, so moving through to bowerbird pose. So this puts a lot of pressure up here on our crown, and this is really to get into the pituitary and pineal gland area up there. So we want to start up on our heels and your toes tucked. Your hands behind the body. So you can watch me first if you want. Breathing in. So we breathe out, I'm sending the sit bones back, and I'm folding over, and I'm bringing my hairline to the floor. I'm rolling over onto the crown. I'm raising my arms off my back. You can bring the hands down beside the body if you want, beside the head. And just when you're ready, coming into the pose. Three more breaths. And we're going to release by taking the feet flat and coming back into your version of child's pose again. And coming up. All right, so we're going to finish with a shoulder stand, and if you've got blocks, that would be really good, or even a blanket rolled up would also be good, just to be able to pop underneath the sacrum here. Okay, so I'm just going to put my jumper on. You feel free to put socks and jumper on too. We're going to do shoulder stand, and we're going to be moving directly into relaxation after that. So if you've got a block, that will be really handy. If not, maybe just a rolled up blanket. something that you get a bit of height, about this much height, underneath the sacrum here. So I want you to start legs out in front and slowly lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Grab your block, and I just want you to place the block underneath the sacrum. I want you to roll the shoulder blades under, so it's like you're lifting the chest a bit. And then from there, we're going to raise the legs up and hold. So this is like a restorative type shoulder stand. Still getting all the benefits of this stimulation through to the throat area here into the thyroid gland, responsible for our heat production or temperature, metabolism, energy, moods. That's really a master gland, and shoulder stand is designed to stimulate that area. So if the full shoulder stand doesn't ever suit you, there's always an option that we can use. Just connect to that ocean breathing. Hear the breath. One focused breath is a meditation, remember that. Now let's release, take the feet back to the floor. Just stay here for a moment in that different position with the block. Some of you might even be able to flip that block up a little higher and hold it there. Some of you will want to keep it flat. Now let's lift the hips, remove that block and bring the spine back to the floor. Knees up to the chest and rock the back from side to side. And back to center. Place the feet back on the floor. Take the feet as wide as the mat, arms out to the sides. Breathe in. Both knees to the right hand side. Breathe right down into that space. Hear the ocean breathing. Feel that space filling with the breath. Nourish that nervous system. Let's come back to center. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Feel that space we're creating. All that space, breathe into it. And coming back to center. And feel free to bring yourself into Shavasana, your most relaxed lying position. Feel free to have something under the knees if you want. If you've got a bolster, that's great. Otherwise, maybe a rolled up blanket. If you've got blocks, you can put the blocks under the knees like this. It's a nice support for the back to have something under the knees. And just feeling the body melting into the support of the floor beneath you. Close your eyes and mouth. Just tilt the head slightly, chin towards the chest and release. Draw the shoulder blades under. Arms are away from the body. The feet are falling outwards. As you settle in, coming to notice the breath. the movement of the body in response to the breath. Belly rising as you breathe in, belly falling as you breathe out. The natural flow of breath. Feel the natural flow of the breath through the nostrils. Notice the natural breath as it flows through both nostrils. And then see if you can notice both breaths through either nostril separately. Become aware of both breaths separately. Notice how the natural breath flows through both nostrils and meets at the top of the nose to form a triangle. The breath enters through the nostrils, moves upwards, and draws together to form a triangle with its apex in the eyebrow center. Keep bringing your awareness to the eyebrow center as you draw both breaths in and up to unite with that chakra center. Now concentrate on each breath and compare the temperatures. In yoga, we say that left breath is Ida, or the moon, and the right breath is Pingala, or the sun. Ida, the left breath, is cooler, and Pingala, the right breath, is warmer. See if you can sense a difference in temperature between Ida and Pingala. Now letting the body relax a little more deeply into this place and time. Just release your focus on the breath and bring your awareness to the muscles in the body. We're going to let them relax completely. First, bring your awareness to the muscles in the face. There's no need to be holding any expression at all. Breathing in. And as you exhale, release any expression on the face. Feel all the muscles through the scalp softening. Head heavy. The whole of the back heavy. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Arms and hands heavy. Buttocks and hips heavy. Upper legs, lower legs. The feet connected through the heels to the floor, heavy. Letting go of all holding in the body. As the body rests in stillness, the only movement, the rise and fall of the belly. As you notice, this is the breath in. And this is the breath out. And now as you lie there, keeping the eyes closed, just develop an awareness of the room you're in. Windows, ceiling, the walls, the floor, the door. Position of your body in the room. As you start to spark some life back into the toes and fingers, making some small movements. Feeling free to stretch yourself out, or maybe bring the knees up to the chest, whatever it is your body feels like doing. And when you're ready, just rolling onto your side. And bringing yourself up to a sitting position. Okay, so we've worked through every energy center from the base up in today's class, and we've only got the one left, which is the crown chakra. Not sure if you've ever chanted the mantra Om, but I'm going to chant the mantra Om today. You can feel free to join in or just to listen. The other nice thing to do when you're learning how to chant Om is do the Brahmari, or the humming bee breath is a really nice way to start. So basically, it sounds like, I'm not sure if you've done humming bee breath, but it sounds like this. So it's just extending that hum as long as you can. You can make it as soft or as loud as you wish. I'm going to chant the mantra Om 3 times. You feel free to join me with the humming, to just listen, or maybe to join me with the Oms. We're going to do 3 rounds. Whatever you're doing, even if you're just listening, we're going to be working on this crown chakra here. Everyone, hands in prayer, thumbs at heart center. Let's breathe in. Everyone, bring the thumbs to the eyebrow center and repeat after me. Namaste. Thanks everybody for joining me today. I hope to see you next week. Thanks.